Welcome to the Digital Glue Podcast. These digital untangling episodes are brought to you by Crystal Kordalchuk, CEO and founder of Virtually Untangled. This podcast is for entrepreneurs who need untangling from the day-to-day tasks in their business. These virtual world untanglers never underestimate the power of a good idea. And if that sounds like a lofty goal, well, it is. A decade ago, Virtually Untangled was founded with the goal of creating meaningful digital experiences that connect with people. Crystal and her team of honorary untanglers are now providing business owners just like you the opportunity to own your story and share it with the world. So, every Tuesday morning, she'll be dropping a new episode that will help you think big and dream even bigger. Let's dive into today's episode.
By definition, inspiration is the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. And as such, being entrepreneurs and building a business from the ground up, we require an endless well of inspiration. It's a part of what keeps us going, giving us the ability to think outside the box by removing it completely, pivot and adapt when we need to, create original and attractive offerings, and have fun while doing it. People probably told you that when you love what you do, the energy comes through in your work and your vibes, and it attracts people to your own personal magic. Being creative and inspired gives us the boost we need to project that happiness and excitement into our craft, and it makes people want to work with us. So where can we find inspiration? How do we recognize when we've hit a slump and need new invigorating ideas? And are we going to be kind enough to ourselves to allow us to take a minute and breathe in order to get that boost? There are a few clues that our body and minds give us when we could really use a shot of inspiration. We commonly feel physically tired, unmotivated, unexcited, and frustrated. Our brain block creates a cycle of frustration, fatigue, and mood shifts, and not the good kind. Now you're probably wondering, how can one clear the mood fog and feel excited again? Our team here at Virtually Untangled has uncovered a handful of things that help us lift the mood, clear that fog, invigorate our souls, and get those glorious creative juices flowing. And the very first thing on that list is rest. Honoring the need for rest is counterintuitive to how we have been taught a hardworking person exists. In our day and age, if you're not going full speed with a 24-hour day accessibility, then you tend to feel quite lazy and unaccomplished. But the positive mood swing on that pendulum is that the importance of self-care and mental health is so prevalent in society now. Some of my favorite authors and teachers have written books that will change your mindset and your life on this topic. They have certainly been game changers for me. One of my absolute favorite people in the world is author and journalist Elizabeth Gilbert, who always says, "Don't abandon your creativity the moment things stop being easy or rewarding, because that's the moment when interesting begins." So what can we do physically and mentally to rest? Feeling creatively blocked will strain our physical selves and our mental state as well. The first on the list is sleep. You cannot pour from an empty bucket, and sometimes just getting the basic human need of good old-fashioned solid REM sleep will help turn the tide. Next up is doing our favorite things list, like a much-loved movie marathon, a good hearty meal, and a chat with your bestie. That will give you a shot of endorphins and put more tools in your well-being toolbox. A great tip during this time is to turn off the sounds on your digital devices when people are scratching at your door to get access to you. It can even inspire something inside of you to change the boundaries you created for yourself and your working life. Maybe you're running yourself too ragged, and that may just be what the doctor ordered to get you inspired: more time to just quietly be. 2020 created a lot of demands on businesses to adapt to circumstances we've never seen before, and oftentimes businesses had to completely recreate themselves. However, it has also provided something we have never been offered before: the downtime to be quiet and hear our thoughts. It's a time of reevaluating our lives, our goals, our dreams, and what we want our future to look like. So for all the tremendous loss and challenges the pandemic presented, on the brighter side of things, we have seen a shift in how the working world has said, okay, maybe it's time to slow down and create better balance in our lives. The rebranding and recreating of businesses are allowing for so much creativity to flow. and I truly live for that dream, not only for myself, but for others too. Sometimes it's because the businesses were on the ropes and had to shift too quickly to stay afloat. That leads us into our second strategy for inspiration, which is taking a look at what other people in your industry are doing. What's new? What's interesting? What's trending? And who's inspiring? Asking your creative friends what they are up to is also a fantastic way to hear new ideas that may light a spark within. These strange times have taught us that people are incredibly resilient, creative, accommodating, and always on the lookout for what can make a more work-life balance more successful. Seeing what others are doing and creating and how they are saving themselves is inspiring in and of itself. To see people happy, living their dream, and adapting so well to hard times that the face of their business works even better than before. The positivity will get you excited and ready to hop on that happy train. So if you are now excited about some new business ideas, it's likely time to learn something new. Take a virtual class and dip your toe into that worldwide knowledge. It can truly shift your brain to new ways of thinking, and that will inject a ton of creativity and inspirational moments into your life. There have been countless times I wandered around my favorite bookstore picking up books by authors I have never heard of just to give something new a try. And then some of that specific book changed my life forever. Planting thought seeds shifts the way we think, and that will inspire a person to see things differently and maybe even walk a new path without all that fear. The effect of that life-changing book then became a series of books that landed in my life quite organically without me seeking them out. Then this created a flow of energy that inspired so much of the creative sources for my business. Books are powerful, and they have the ability to transform us from the inside out. One of my favorite quotes is by D. Hawk. Clean out the carrier of your mind and creativity will instantly fill it. Another way to get inspired is trying something new, a hobby, an experience, even a recipe. I'm a very avid at-home chef and baker. I'm truly a foodie by all accounts, and something that really feeds my soul is learning something about that subject. I also love to paint and create art, and not just digitally. So watching an online class or reading about fun techniques is something that truly feeds my soul and gets me excited about my work, a passion from my personal life that literally infuses into my business. I feel mentally inspired, and that resonates into everything I do here at Virtually Untangled. It gives everything a fresh new feeling. It sometimes even takes me down a new creative path that I've never explored before. So sometimes when we are disciplined and hardworking, we forget to give ourselves little nuggets of soul food in our day. You know, the things that we feel in our hearts that we truly desire, but may feel guilty taking the time to do. As the fabulously brilliant Glennon Doyle says, if you feel something calling you to dance or write or paint or sing, please refuse to worry about whether you are good enough. Just do it. Be generous. Offer a gift to the world that no one else can offer, yourself. Okay, now let's talk about giving yourself a simple change of scenery, which is our fifth tip. A quick car trip, or a walk in the woods, or maybe even an entire weekend away can give you just the rest and quiet that you need to allow new thoughts to flow. Most days, we just sit in our workspaces day in and day out. Then we fall into routines that are comfortable but stale. We find ourselves going through the motions of our day without even realizing we're feeling stuck. We get bogged down with all the busy work of our days that we forget to stop and create something new. And then when a client comes to us and asks us for work that demands creativity, we must put on our inspiration hat, even when we're not feeling it. So sometimes that just means a desire to leave the normal day behind just for a little while and see if we can find something new that sparks our attention. And hopefully that spark leads to new thoughts, which turns into jaw-dropping ideas. And that accomplishment alone will create happiness. And we all know what happens when we are happy working people. Another tried and true method for becoming inspired is journaling. Keeping a journal at our fingertips at all times to scribble down thoughts that we have or that just come to us in the moment can be a powerful resource. Sifting through those thoughts later can flick a switch inside our souls and start a train of thought that you may have forgotten you had once upon a time. It is super helpful to have an idea notebook. Even when you know you don't possibly have the time or the resources to jump into that new project right now. It's a great way to always keep a hold on your dreams and ideas. I am admittedly an overly organized person and feel that organization is one of my love languages. It brings me peace and order, to which then can shine through in my work. Making lists is another way to quiet the busy work and shift that cluttered brain space, leaving room for new thoughts and ideas. The very habit of jotting down these inner conversations cleans out room for new thoughts. I feel like it makes me more conscious in my tasks and clear in my conversation with others. I think it's an extremely healthy habit for people to adopt. This also goes hand in hand with my next thought on inspiration. Vision boards. Collect pictures, quotes, colors, and words that depict this life and bring them all together in one place. How fun! This can be a collection of every aspect of your life, even beyond your business, like hobbies, travel, food, education, and even people you admire. There's a very cool virtual board phenomenon called Pinterest. Yes, we've all heard of it and love it. I myself am a huge lover of all things Pinterest, and when someone sees my virtual boards, I feel like it presents a very good snapshot of me and what makes me tick, what I love, what I want to create myself into or just create, and what I want to do. So when I need inspiration, whether personally or professionally, I pop in there for a quick look-see and let the inspiration take over. There are millions and millions of ideas in there. Consider it your virtual playground for sparking that bright shining light on the projects you're working on or even your daily routine. Even if you have a desire to create something new and exciting for a client, the opportunity for new ideas is endless. And you even have the luxury of curating your very own collection of these ideas to help you remember your thoughts and your dreams in the moments of great inspiration. When we work within deadlines sometimes, we don't have the luxury to be as creative as we would like. We just need to get the work done on time and within the limits presented. So, what if we decided to work on a project that had no deadlines and no pressure, just for the sake of creating to see what inspires us? Well, it's simple. You can set aside some time to sit with your materials, experiment, and create whatever comes to mind without the pressure of those dreaded time crunch deadlines. This process of experimentation is liberating, exciting, and can truly spark some amazing ideas. You may even come up with new processes or templates to help you with future projects. And truthfully, you could discover an even better way to present new work to your clients and have the pleasure of being creatively inspired all at the same time. It's time for you to do what you love and make it even better, to just enjoy the love of the work without the pressure of all those hard-driven timelines. And lastly, circling back to reading a new book. Often I have been encouraged to read the classics. And there's a reason why they're called just that, as the mere simplicity in that itself can foster peace and new waves of thoughts. Maybe this can be simplified. Maybe it doesn't have to be so complicated. Maybe my work can just be as good and just as fulfilling if I approach it from a simpler view. Simple, reliable, constant, classic. These concepts hold a lot of respect and elegance just by being themselves. Having that kind of confidence in your work will also attract people who want to work with you. So reading a classic book is almost the opposite of the warp speed of life that we can find ourselves in the current business world. There's information coming at you from all directions at a speed and steadiness that is truthfully hard to keep up with, and even hard to process at times. One of the biggest factors in the way the world works now is the use of social media, which brings me to my final idea. What can seem like endless platforms to navigate and endless messages to weed through, and the assumption that we should be available at the ping of a send button, this virtual overload tends to be a huge barrier to creative thinking and causes us to seek inspiration in order to quiet that noise. So how can we switch the story around to make our work unique, all the while making social media work for us and bringing us joy-filled inspiration instead of brain fog? The upside of this enormous well is that there are boundless amounts of good content out there and exciting people to follow that can give you snippets of happy, love, light, goodness, all to surge the drag of your day. So take a few moments every single day to find and follow accounts that align with how you like to live your own life. People who share your hobbies, people who are masters of the things that you want to master, and especially folks who make you laugh. They will teach you things that will set a steady stream of ideas in motion. And utilizing the many resources we have right at our fingertips can change the way we think about our business, those of our clients, the way we work, and can even help bring fresh inspirations into a routine-based world. The happiness from finding and sharing all this inspiration will not only inspire others to do better and be better, but will resonate and reflect into what you send out into the world and those around you. So please take a quiet moment to yourself once in a while and refill that inspiration bank.
And that's a wrap. Virtually Untangled is a full-service business, which means they've got you covered on design and content right through to digital and organization. You'll form a long-lasting relationship with them as collaboration is central to everything they do. Now it's time to seize the moment and become inbox friends. It's easy to do. Just hop on over to virtuallyuntangled.com or their Facebook page to opt in and receive instant access to the most inspirational ride of your life. So what are you waiting for? Become inbox friends with VU. Until the next episode, keep untangling.